Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Real Talks. Today I'm going to be speaking to Shocka. Now Shocka's story is a mix of resilience, self-love and determination. We're going to be talking about how he got to the top of his career, but then to lose it all. How was growing up in London and how did that shape your outlook on music and life?
It shaped everything because the part I grew up in London is the interesting part. I grew up in Tottenham. And Tottenham is like, well, let's not even, we'll get to Tottenham, but Broadwater Farm, the area I grew up in, is like notorious. It was really negative and really bad. It had two riots. One riot in 1986, where a police officer got killed. Then it had another riot in 2012, where Mark Duggan got killed.
Yeah, which brought riots around the country.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that brought riots around the country. So my area is like really notorious, especially between the people of the estate and the police. There's always been like friction. But the area's become really positive as of recently because this new generation are doing amazing things.
Yeah.
Like Heady One, I always say it. Heady One went #1, and that kind of just changed the trajectory of Broadwater Farm in terms of like in the eyes of the younger generation.
Yeah, of
they look
course.
at it completely different. I saw kids like filming the estate on their camera phones. I've lived on there my whole life.
Yeah,
I've never seen anyone like interested in my area in a positive way. But then I saw kids like, oh my God, they shot the video there. And
Yeah.
so they've
It's
made
brought
it
some
like,
positivity
it brought
towards
some positivity to it. Abracadabra was doing amazing things. Band OK. They used to do these things where like they'll tweet, everyone come to Broadwater Farm for like a barbecue at 5 p.m. or something.
Yeah.
And my area will be flooded with
Real
like
community vibes.
with just bare youths.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that before. So like, yeah, Broadwater Farm definitely shaped me. I was saying it to someone the other day. Broadwater Farm made me want to be great. Tottenham made me want to be great in general. There's so much amazing talent.
Yeah.
If people don't know, Skepta's from Tottenham.
Yeah.
Rex V2's from Tottenham.
Lyricist, genius.
Chipmunk's from Tottenham. Double S is from Tottenham.
No one's got more bars than
Do you know
Chip.
what I mean? So Tottenham just makes you want to be great.
Yeah.
The history's so rich.
Big shout to Double S as well.
Yes, big up Double S.
Yeah. Fardellini,
Yeah.
always. Yeah, it's you know, and normally I'm familiar with London and Tottenham is obviously an area that gets a lot of bad press over the years due to the, you know, and just like every area of London, you know, negativity. But you came out of there. Now, we haven't mentioned that. You know, you came out of Broadwater Farm and
I took a completely different path.
Yeah.
I was watching a video yesterday. Double sent me a video. I think Abracadabra shot in my estate, and I was watching it, and I was like, "I'm really from there."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, this is
yeah,
your
like
area.
listen to what they were talking about and how it looked. I was like, in fact, like
This is your block.
I was just about to say that, but I didn't want to bait it. But I was going to be like, where they're rapping in front of, like, I live there. Do you know what I mean? So I just took a completely different path, and I'm happy with the path I took.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with the artist that inspired me to take that path.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about that path and that block and where you grew up on, this obviously comes back to your story because we spoke about author, TED Talk speaker as well, and your mental health. So Tottenham obviously and Broadwater Farm had a big part to play in your mental health. Tell us kind of where that began.
All my sectionings and my breakdowns happened in Tottenham. The ambulance came to pick me up in that same estate. So I've seen everything in that estate. I've seen the good, bad, the ugly in that estate. It's crazy to think about it. Like the ambulance literally came to get me from that estate numerous times.
Yeah.
So Tottenham's played a major part in my mental health story. And one thing I'm so happy and I thank God about is that the times when I had my breakdowns, people wasn't on the camera phones that heavy.
Yeah.
If not, it'll probably still be on YouTube now. It'll be all over the place.
Yeah, because
viral wasn't the thing like that.
Now,
and I'm always conscious of that, like, because I've had a lot of episodes. I've mentioned it in my book. I've had a lot of episodes where I've had to like compose myself until I get to like a safe place, until I get home, or because having a breakdown in public in 2024 is scary.
It's scary.
People don't know how to react to it in the right way.
Absolutely.
They don't take it serious, especially me being an artist. That's going on Grime Daily. That's going on Link Up TV.
Yeah.
That's going to be everywhere.
People pray almost for your downfall, don't they?
Yes.
But going back to that, because we spoke about obviously the mental breakdown and the sectioning, but we haven't actually touched on what it is that has brought that on.
Yeah.
So what is it that you currently have what you've been diagnosed with, and that is causing.
I got diagnosed with two things actually. When I got sectioned in 2012, I got diagnosed with manic depression, and then 2016, 2014 to 2016, it developed into paranoid schizophrenia because other symptoms came in.
Yeah.
So manic depression, I was just acting manic, and
Yeah.
so which made sense. But then 2014, 16, the hearing the voices and the delusions, all of that stuff came in, and it was like, nah, this is deeper than manic depression. This is paranoid schizophrenia, which is something I never understood.
Yeah.
I've never. It's all new to me.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because people assume from films that there's this stigma about schizophrenia, and that you turn around and we're not going to talk about the stigmas, but the act in a certain way.
Yeah.
Now, can you explain to for those young people who might be watching this what it does to you and kind of the effects are and the symptoms?
When I'm having an episode, I'm not like this with my legs crossed. I'm like probably like this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like
Flight kind of.
Yeah, and it's like you can't string your sentences together because like there's so much going on in your head. You can't string your sentences together. You're paranoid. Everything someone says, it's like so in my head, I'll be thinking, am I having a good day? And then someone will message me. Not someone will message me. Someone in the group chat will say, no, you're not. But not to me, to a message in the group chat.
Yeah.
But the paranoia's kicked in that I've took that no, you're not, as in like they've answered what's in my head. And now I'm bugging out.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most scariest things that happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else that's got the same diagnosis has experienced that same thing that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
But like that's what it's like.
Wow.
And it will happen all the time, and it's really scary. So you'll be thinking something like, I don't want to go outside. And then like your group chat will be like, you better go outside. And then you'll check it, and then it was a message to like
something completely different. Yeah,
and it's like it's frightening, bro. Yeah. It's scary. So like, when you're not in a paranoid state, you notice that was a message before. Yeah. When you're in a paranoid state, it becomes like an answer to what's going on in your mind.
And everything just becomes
everything just comes out. So like, imagine me outside.
Yeah.
Imagine someone on their phone. I'm looking at them. Imagine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's frightening, bro.
It could just and it could cause a situation.
Yeah,
couldn't
exactly.
It, with somebody,
because I'll be freaking out.
Yeah.
People won't. So like, that's what I mean by keeping my composure. So imagine that going on, but I'm trying to keep my composure till I get somewhere safe.
Yeah.
As in like home, and I can, kind of. That's why self-talk is so important. I can kind of self-talk myself back that I'm safe. Yeah. Because I think a lot of it is to do with being safe. Do you know what I mean? Once you can get yourself to feel like you're safe again, your body can like regulate. Your nervous system can like regulate, and you can get back to yourself.
It's interesting for that as well. You mentioned that because I would never have thought that's how it felt, but I can understand it. Yes. And to a certain extent, I think a lot of people do the same.
Yeah.
Now, what inspired you to start talking about your mental health? Because we both know, being from an African culture,
is
such a taboo.
Yeah.
It's like you cannot, if anyone is watching from African culture, I understand you and I feel you, and we can tell you how it works and how we're going to be able to support you.
Yeah.
But how was it first speaking about your mental health?
I got so much resistance from every direction. My friends wasn't too sure. When I started rapping about it, I remember I had one friend, I won't mention his name, but he was like, your music's depressing now. No one's gonna want to hear that. We want to turn up. We want wavy. We don't want to hear about, you know what I'm saying, these diagnoses and you being sectioned. And I remember that kind of put me off for a while, because like, not saying you do your music for your friends, but they're the first people you show.
Yeah.
And you want your friends to be behind you.
On you, yeah.
And then I was getting it from that direction. Then I was getting it from family direction, which was like difficult, because when you come home, you want that to be your sanctuary, your place of peace. So knowing that I'm coming home and they don't support me there, like every time I had to do interviews, I had to tell my mum that I'm going to do something else. Or else like my mum would be like, don't talk about it.
Yeah. It's almost like you've been pushed to hide it away.
And like, I get the shame around it. I was thinking about it the other day and the answer came to me. The reason why they don't want you to talk about it, because the stigma in their generation, especially stuff like schizophrenia, was that like you might be cursed,
Yeah.
or it might be demonic,
Witchcraft.
or it might be witchcraft. So like there's a lot of shame around it. So like if anyone comes out and says I've got a schizophrenia diagnosis, they're gonna have to answer those questions as well. If like
Yeah.
if it's are you cursed, or do you know what I mean? So no one wants to mention it, because I was thinking like, why was it so difficult for me to find people that had been sectioned?
Yeah.
It was so hard until I started talking. Then everyone started sliding in my DMs and sharing their
All of a
story.
sudden, people are.
All of a sudden, and I was
Yeah.
like, you too. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But like, I get it, because of that shame and stigma. No one wanted to say anything. So like, the step I took was a really brave step, and like, I'm so happy I took it. It was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life.
And you've opened doors for people, because you know what we say, people are afraid to say it, or to say that, you know. And one thing I always mention when I've been in schools with you is when you say, right, so I have schizophrenia, but I don't look like it. But what does that look like?
Yeah.
And kids are always like, oh,
Yeah.
don't look like. And that's so powerful in itself. How you are able to tell people, look, that could affect anyone.
Yeah.
Any of you walking through this street could have it.
Yeah.
You know, so I love that. I rate that.
And I feel like the reason why it's important to share is because that's the only way we're going to get answers.
100%.
That's the only way. If I've got like this, I don't know, boil on my hand, and I don't say nothing, and you've had that boil before, and you know how you dealt with it, I'm missing out on the answer by keeping quiet. So I don't know what happened along the line in history where like they forced all of us to keep quiet, but it's not doing us any justice. It's really hurting us, actually.
Absolutely.
It's hurting us, because and it's weird because this is not even the sort of things we should be quiet about. There's other things we should be quiet about, but we talk about everything. We talk about women, we talk about fashion, we talk about football, but then things that's serious, like your mental health, like hair and voice, like these are things you want to get answers for. So it's like, and that's what leads to like stuff like suicide, because it's eating you alive every day and night. You're thinking about it and you have no one to tell. And that's when you think, you know, maybe it'll be better for me to just
and
take myself off the planet. But you should be able to be vocal about these things, so someone has the answer. The amount of times I've like gone on my Instagram and said just random things. Random
little questions. I see them,
who knows what? What was I talking about? I asked a question for something recently, and someone came with the answer straight away. Or even when I asked Nelson Mandela, you told me. When I said, when did Nelson Mandela win the Nobel Peace Prize? How old is he? And you slid in my DMs and he was like 82 or something. So like, we're all here to help each other. It's just we just need to share. We just need to share and have, and be able to speak more.
Absolutely. Which takes me to a section of your life.
Yes.
Like, what led you to write this book?
Oh my God.
And what's the main message that you wanted to get out of it? Because I remember you telling me, you know, you're writing a book, and I was like, what, this guy's a superhero, seriously. So what led you to write it, and what was the main message you wanted to get out? And then I also want to know what's your reaction been since.
Yes. It was like a download. I've always heard that word download. You know, when people say like things just got downloaded to me, and I never used to believe it. I just think it sounds like spiritual, mumble jumble. But like when I was in hospital, I literally got the download. Everything just came to me while I was there. But what triggered it was, I got to thank my auntie. She probably don't even realize this, but she gave me my phone. On a visit. My mum never. When I got sectioned the other 3 times prior to that, my mum never gave me my phone. She used to keep my phone, and then when I come out, she'll give it to me, and then I can start talking to my friends again, because she didn't want me to tell everyone what I'm going through and just keep it private. Whereas, like, obviously my mum passed. My auntie don't really know my mum's policies in that sense. Or maybe she did and she wanted to try something different. I don't know. I haven't asked her. But on a visit, she gave me my food. She gave me my clothes, and she gave me my phone. And I didn't say nothing because I could have ruined it.
Yeah, you could have just
said my phone. Nah, take it. I don't have my phone.
I'm not supposed to.
And there would have been no book, no nothing. But I took it. And then when I got back to my room, I knew exactly what to do. That's when the download just came. I was like, oh my God, I need to take videos while I'm here. Oh my God, I need to start writing a book. I was like, oh my God, I need to record things. I don't know what this could be used for when I get out. Because don't forget, before I got sectioned 2 years ago, I hadn't been sectioned for like 6 years.
Yeah,
and in between those 6 years, I did TED Talks, I did sold out shows, I went to New York, I did mental health talks. So like I kind of was like a mental health advocate already. I was in my role.
Yeah.
So when I got section, I knew what to do. I was like, oh my God, when I come out, people are gonna want to know what's just happened to me, and they're gonna need this footage for something. I didn't know what it would be for, and then it got used for the Black Boys Can Cry.
Yep.
Documentary
Amazing.
with Alex Beresford on ITV.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, Black Boys Can Cry on ITV. It's still available on the iPlayer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it got used for Me, My Music and Mental Health in the Everyman Cinema, which you came to.
What a screening.
That was epic. It got used for that. It got used for so many different things, and it's still getting used for things. So like, I think I did 10 years since I got sectioned the second time or something like that. I don't know if you saw that video. I posted like a collage of like different videos.
I did actually, yeah.
So
I
like
did,
stuff like that.
Do you know
what I mean? So, and even that actually, those videos were taken the second time I got sectioned. And I remember when my friends that came to visit me was like filming me getting my hair cut because there's this girl that I was embarrassed. Because I was thinking, why
people taking notes?
Yeah, why are you filming me in my vulnerable state? Yeah. But now I'm so grateful they did because I've got it.
You got a memory now of kind of how you were, where you struggled to like how you got out of that.
Exactly.
And
you can see the progress.
Yeah, when you look back, you know, it's almost, I did this.
Yes,
I got through
exactly.
This. Yeah, definitely. Tell us about the message that the book holds and what people should or you want people to get out of it.
The book, that's a good question. That is a good question. The book is basically, it's a journey of like finding yourself and finding your relationship with, like, obviously I speak about God a lot, everyone knows this, but it's like whatever your higher power is, but it's finding yourself. It's a journey of healing. You see me go through so many different journeys in this book. You see me go through the journey where I didn't really like myself as a person because of certain stuff I did or certain character traits I had. So you see me battling that when I speak about the woman in the hospital that told me about your heart, you need to check. I was like, wow, where did that come from? Like, what the? How did he? Where did that come from? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much. Like, you see so much. You see me go through so many different phases. And then you see me find myself at the end, and it ends like beautifully. So I think the book's just a journey of the sections of my life, it was really meant to just be about the mental health sections of my life, but then it happens to be about different sections. Yep. You see the Marvel sections where like me and my mum's kind of going back and forth, and she's telling me to get a job. Then she asked my dad to tell me to get a job. Like, there's different sections. I speak about one of my ex-girlfriends, you know, what she went through, the whole situation. Yeah, it's
powerful, and it's been nice because we've been to a couple of schools where, you know, we've given out some books to the young people, and I'd highly recommend you to read it.
Also, it's got poems and it's got
little workout
where you can write and stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. What's the best reaction you've had to the book, like, or most surreal reaction, or something that's made you think, I'm really doing this?
I had a talk recently, a month ago. And the guy that was interviewing me, I was talking about my book like I am now, and the guy turned to the audience and said, has anyone, you know, known about Shocka's book? And this like middle-aged woman brought out the book from her bag and said,
Love that.
I've read it 3 times, and I signed it for her afterwards. And I was like, that is crazy. And that's what I was telling Double, and I was telling my ex-manager this as well. I was like, the reason why this mental health journey is so sick, because it's all audiences can relate. You see, when I was in Marvel, I will know my demographic.
Target
like,
audience.
If I saw a young black boy, I'll know, like, okay, he probably knows who I am. That's about it. I went to sign up for the gym recently. Yes,
he has been working out, been watching. Go on.
It's coming. So, yes,
I couldn't convince him, but someone
4
did.
months. So I went to sign up for the gym. And this guy, like this big guy with like dreads and older guy, stopped me and he was like, "Oh, Shocka, I'm a big fan of you, man, love," and like shook his hands, and I was like, "That's crazy." So the people I'm touching, age groups, it's a beautiful thing.
It's nice, isn't it? Like you because you talk back at like talk about the first rise of yourself as an artist,
Yeah.
and the second rise, like
Oh, this time's sweeter.
yeah. What does the how does it feel? How does it differ from the first time that you became an artist and went to the top to the second time? How does it compare?
The first time, you don't appreciate anything because you don't understand how valuable it is. So like you get paid for a show, £1,000 for a show, you don't appreciate it because you don't know like that's even sick. You just think it's a normal thing. You tour with Chipmunk, you tour with Skepta, you tour with Diversity, you think like
This is
that's
it.
what you do. You win awards, you think that's what you do. And then that all gets taken away from you.
Yeah.
And then you spend 15 years trying to get it back. And then you realize, and then the names that you toured with, they're like global superstars now.
Yeah.
And you realize who the fuck, can I swear on this?
Yeah,
Sorry.
we can
Sorry.
It's cool.
You realize who that you was with.
Yeah.
So like, remember we met Drake at the beginning of our career,
Yeah,
Rihanna, toured with Chip, Skepta. All these people have gone on to be global
Yeah.
superstars, which I barely can get in contact with them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you realize, oh,
These are, they've stepped up.
they've stepped
Yeah,
up and
yeah.
like, thank God I've got these people on my CV. I can mention their name in my
Yeah.
interviews. At that time, we probably wouldn't even mention it that much because we just thought like
It was just normal.
it was
innit?
just normal.
part of
Now
it,
I'm
yeah.
like, no, that was actually a piece of history.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a piece. Like, Drake ran into me during his
Yeah, you can't
come up.
take that
you
away
can't
from
take
you.
that away,
You
or
can't take
like
that away.
Rihanna or Skepta or Chip or do you know what I mean, all these people. So like, and then you realize that not everyone gets a second opportunity. There's so many other people that I'm seeing still trying to get their second shot, and then like, that's when the gratitude kicks in. You start realizing, then everything becomes sweet. Everything. Anytime you get paid, you're like.
Like you appreciate
Or
it.
even I've done so many free stuff. I still do free stuff now. I still balance it out. I'll get paid something crazy for this, and then I'll do like a free thing. Not because I want to do the free thing, but because I'm just grateful that you reached out to me.
Yeah.
I always, if anyone that reaches out to me, they'll let you know. My message is always thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah.
That's how I start it. Because that thought, like, I always think, rah, like you thought of me. Like someone hit me up 2 days ago. There's a guy called Sace, big up Sace. He just opened up a youth club in South London.
I think I know who it is. Yeah,
you know it.
yeah.
He hit me up like a couple of days ago asking me to be an ambassador for
Love that.
his organization. And it's like, bro, thank you for thinking of me. Like he was like, you was top of the list. And like just stuff like that is like, I'm so grateful.
Takes you back, doesn't it? To makes you appreciate.
It makes me appreciate. And also it makes me appreciate because I was the only one that didn't believe in himself fully out of everyone in the group. Double was already Double S. Everyone knows Double S from him and Chipmunk. They came in together. So Double S confidence was through the roof. Vertex used to do videos. He
He
shot
already
Tinty
had a lot of
Striders,
niche.
Mainstream Money, Oopsie Daisy, N-Dubs. So he had a CV. I was the only one that only had Marvel to
kind
rely
of
on.
hold-
Even
yeah.
when they all started their separate social medias, I was the only one that never had a social media.
Yeah.
And everyone would say, nah, Shocks, trust me.
You need to get on it.
Get on it. And there was right. As soon as I got on Instagram, my first freestyle went viral.
Yeah, that's it.
That means I found my confidence and I found my voice. So like, I'm even surprised that like, rah, like, you're doing it. I look at
Yeah.
my TED Talk and think, bro, that's 3,000 people there that you just walked out in front of. And it's
Exactly.
not like you had so much experience prior to that. That was one of my first talks. People don't realize that.
Which is wild.
Which is wild.
People like work for years to try and get on a TED Talk,
Yeah.
but because your experience, your story, and how the impact you made, the fact that you were able to go and do that,
Yeah.
that's insane. That's crazy. Love that.
Yeah.
When you think back, talk about the second coming,
Yeah.
Shocka season.
Yes.
If you don't know about Shocka season, get to know. It's in full effect. I think we're in season 3.4 now. Something like that. But yeah, can you share a story on how someone that you've impacted, or maybe that's been impacted by your story, maybe, and I'm thinking, I don't want to put a story in your mind, but there's one I remember from a kid in school. But if you could tell me a different one and maybe touch on that one as well.
Which one do you remember? Are we talking about the same one? The kid that came out about her sexuality?
There's that one, and then Wimbledon, whole school.
Oh, the kid that was really naughty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to him recently,
Oh,
actually.
brilliant.
He DMs me from time to time. Yeah, he's in a whole different school now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in a whole different school and he's happy and he's enjoying himself. Like, he DM'd me literally last week
Amazing.
just to check in and like.
Tell us a little bit about how that came about and how does it make you feel when somebody reaches out to you like that?
Yeah, and we did a talk in Wimbledon and there was this kid that was like having a hard time and was really disruptive. And like, I came into the school, I did my talk, and we just gravitated towards each other. And like, the kids were saying that like, you're really helping him out. And I just showed him a lot of love, and I stayed in contact with him. And he's been DMing me on Instagram, and we've been talking. He DM'd me literally last week. Funny you mentioned it. And he was just saying he's in a new school now, and he's like really happy, and that just makes me happy. But there's like so many cases of like people that's been impacted in a positive way, and I'm just happy. And there's cases that I don't know about, which is good, because I don't want to know everything, because it might make me feel a bit.
Yeah,
you never know. The ego could kick in.
Yeah.
Certain stuff needs to be a mystery that you don't need to know. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So,
And going back to Black Boys Don't Cry, because I absolutely loved that documentary, and it was so powerful to see with obviously Alex
Beresford, yeah.
Beresford, yeah, Alex Beresford. Big shout out to Alex Beresford. What a man.
Yeah.
How did that feel, and how important was it to be able to have a voice as a black male in community and to talk about mental health? Because we know that there's knife crime epidemic, we know there's so much going on in the world right now with racism, but as a black male to talk about your mental health, how powerful did you feel, and what really did it bring to you to kind of forefront of your mind?
It felt big as well doing that documentary. Being in the ITV building, like, it was overwhelming. I've never been in there before. And I remember going in there and they had a board and like they had different faces, and my face was like, a cutout of my face was on top of the board, and I was like, yo, this is serious. And I remember having a meeting of them with the whole team, and they was talking about, are you sure this is not going to trigger you to end up back in hospital, being, knowing that your story is going to be shown like in front of millions. And when they were saying that, I was thinking, oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I didn't think about that. I just wanted to do it. And like, I said, even in my head, I was saying that, nah, I don't think it would. But in my head, I was thinking, please, man, because that would be like a terrible outcome to like, to the documentary. Like, it comes out and then you hear that
he's actually relapsed.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because the documentary shows my journey that I come out and I'm in a good place. So knowing that after it's just aired, I've just, you know what I mean? But like, thank God it didn't happen like that. But I'm working with Alex Beresford as well was amazing. It was actually meant to be me by myself.
Right.
The whole documentary.
Wow.
Which I'm happy it wasn't, because number one, it gave other people the opportunity to share their journeys. And we worked well together as well. Like, it was good.
I think you two were very powerful in that, and I think like you came across so well.
Yeah.
So if anyone hasn't seen it, definitely go and watch Black Boys Can Cry.
Yeah.
You even performed on there, didn't you? And I'm gutted I couldn't make it down.
Yes.
But that's a story for
some song off the album. A song that I cry sometimes.
That's a story for another time. But talking of album,
yes.
Because I'm following your journey. Like, Shocka season is in full effect. When's the album coming out?
The album,
or if you can't tell us, unlucky, I know. But
yes, the album. When would this be out? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, the album comes out 10th of October, which is World Mental Health Day. So it aligned beautifully. And do you know what's so crazy? Remember the catalyst to my first breakdown was the single coming out on 10-10-10?
Yes.
So like,
for
me to drop my album on 10-10, 24, like 15 years later, is mind-blowing. And the fact that day, 10-10-10, was World Mental Health Day, but I never knew.
Wow.
Because I never had...
that wasn't a thing to think about.
But it's been that day for a while. But I never knew. So imagine that, like, my story is like written.
Yeah.
Like, it was written in the stars for me. It's mind-blowing.
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for people to hear it, to hear it all. And but there's so much going on, that you're doing out there, constantly posting new performances, new songs, songs that are really important, that are, talking about uniting people. And I think it's really important to see. Now, what's one of your biggest challenges been this time around, would you say?
Ooh, what's one of my biggest challenges this time around? There's a certain pressure that I haven't felt before. Or maybe I felt it, but I never really felt it because I had Double and Vertex there.
Yeah.
But now I'm feeling it as a solo artist. There's a pressure when you start winning. When you start winning, it becomes the norm for you.
And you have to keep
And
on
you got to
doing
keep
it.
up. And then like you can't lose again. Like you're not human.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I slip up in one sense,
Yeah.
everyone would be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're
Like
onto
I
you.
remember just a little example, and this has got nothing to do with music. This is just in life. I just bought a new mattress at home. My little cousin sent me the links to pick a mattress. And I was meant to send the money over to pick the mattress, but I've been busy, so I haven't had a chance to. And so it took a week and I haven't sent the money over because I've been busy. And my auntie voice noted me and said, like, is everything okay for money? Are you all right over there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like just that little week.
Yeah.
The panicking has already started. And then I sent the money, of course, but like, just like little things like that just makes you realize like everyone's so used to you operating at a certain level that you can't even slip now.
Yeah.
And I've never experienced that
You've got
before.
to be on that,
I've been on the losing end for so long.
Yeah.
I've been on the he's not gonna come through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's it. And now that things are happening.
yeah, now things are happening. There's like an expectation that's being set.
Yeah.
So like I understand again how artists fall into depression or artists, have breakdowns because of that expectation.
Yeah.
They don't want to fall below it. And there's so much pressure.
Yeah.
It's that if Drake, I think Drake put out three songs last week or something like that, and they just went top 100. But like he didn't promote the songs, he just put them out. And someone was like, Drake's falling off. And I was like,
how?
But for his standards, they mean.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Drake can't even go top 100 now.
Yeah.
It'll be like he's falling off.
If he can't, like,
exactly.
Imagine the pressure that,
There's like, that's some of the stuff that I'm dealing with.
How do you cope with when you have like a really busy week? Let's say overload, you got programs, you got sessions, you've got recording, you've got, things happening. Yeah. How do you handle that stress? Because I know I struggle.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you manage that?
I kind of like, it's like I go through the week twice. I feel like I go through it in my head first. So like I'll look at my schedule and I'm going through it. Yeah. Not like reading it, but like actually going through the days of like what's happening.
Of course.
And then like whatever one makes me feel a bit, I'll know like, oh, that's going to be a stressful day. Because I just went through it in my head and I haven't even done the real thing yet.
Yeah.
And I felt a little...
Like kind of, you feel like you're already prepared in a way.
So like I'll go through it.
Yeah.
So whatever one makes me feel a bit stressed without even doing it, I know like that's the one I got to prepare for.
Yeah.
So like that's what I do. So like it's like my shows.
Yeah.
I do my shows twice. Rehearsals and then the actual thing. So if it goes well in rehearsals, I know there's a 95% chance that it's going to go well in the actual thing. Obviously, there'll be certain different things I'm not expecting because there's a crowd.
Yeah, cool.
Like my TED Talk.
Yeah.
There's a bit where like, when I do that poem in the beginning and then the crowd starts clapping and I have to stop. Yeah. I wasn't prepared for that.
Because you don't, it's there's things that you can't really prepare
and
for.
In my head, I was thinking, don't forget the lyric. Because I'm waiting for him to stop clapping. Because in rehearsals, no one's there. So I did the full
so
thing.
Doing it. Yeah.
In this one, in front of an audience, they started clapping at a certain point. So I had to wait for him to stop, and I'm thinking, keep the lyric. And I'm laughing it off. And you won't realise this, but when you watch it again, you'll know.
Yeah, I'll know now.
So little things like that. But I kind of go through my schedule twice in my mind.
Love that. And that's a good tip to have because I think I need to do that. Yeah. Just because it prepares you for any potential mishaps or anything that happens. Nah, exciting. Love that. Tell me, now, what's one quote that you live by every day?
All good things come to those that stay true.
Yes.
It's a Tupac Shakur quote.
Jeez. And that's my idol. Yeah.
It's the truth. It's genius. When I heard him say it, on To Pimp a Butterfly. You know when Kendrick's interviewing him at the end and Kendrick asks him a question and then that was the reply. Like, he said he knew he was punching the right buttons, because all good things come to those that stay true. And every time he said that, I mean, every time after he said that, I started looking at people that's successful, and I started seeing like, oh my God, he's staying true to himself. Yeah. He's staying true to himself.
And that's
he's
how
at
you
that
get...
position because and I start seeing it every song, and I was like, for Tupac to come to that realization at 21 years old,
he was way ahead. He was way ahead.
How did you arrive at that? Like, because I'm seeing it now.
Yeah.
And that is the formula. Anyone you look at that's successful, just analyze it, and like Kanye.
Stay true to yourself.
They stay true to themselves. And like he said, all good things come to those that stay true
to themselves.
And that stuck with me.
And that's important. Young people, I want you to remember that quote, just because there's a lot of pressure on social media to be a certain way, to be a certain person, to not speak openly.
Yeah.
And you and I have both faced it when we've talked about mental health, the abuse sometimes you get from your close ones.
Yeah.
So that's important. Stay true to yourself.
If you are that kind of person that's outspoken, speak out. Stay true.
Absolutely.
Because it's who you are. Whether you get backlash, whether it works out, it's who you are. If you're a kind of person that you like to put the sugar before you put the milk in your cereal.
Or is it the tea bag?
The tea bag or how
the milk. And
stay true. And like, do you know what I mean? If you're a kind of person where you don't like wearing socks with your shoes, stay true and just don't wear socks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I won't judge. We just won't look.
You just got to stay true and it'll work out for you.
Yeah.
But when you bend and change just to fit in, that's when it goes wrong.
That's when it goes wrong. One last thing I want to ask you is, now if you had to give your younger self advice,
yes, what
would that be? If you knew now what you knew then, if you knew then, what you know now.
Yeah. That's a good question. There's so much. What I would say to my younger self is invest in knowledge. Because I started investing in knowledge later. Like, I wasn't a book reader, I wasn't a documentary reader, I was just floating through life. But it was too later I started investing in knowledge. I started, and it gives you a step ahead. Yeah. I'll say invest in knowledge. I'll say that is it, actually, because everything I'm going to say goes back to that. If you invest in, and I'll say invest in specific knowledge that pertains to what you want to do with your career, what your calling is. Don't just invest in like everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Unless you're gonna go on a show like what's that woman's name again? Oh, what is that? Annie something. Is it Annie Robinson?
Oh, Anne Robinson on the Weakest Link.
Weakest Link. Unless you're gonna go on a show like that where you need all this general knowledge. But if not, if you know you want to be a footballer, be specific and like invest in all the knowledge in that field and become a specialist. I realized the world is really kind towards specialists. Yeah. Like if I had something wrong with my knee and I went to a doctor and he told me he does arms and thighs and knees, and then there was another doctor that does just knees, I'm going to the one that does just knees because I know like
you'd be looked after.
You know everything in a knee. I don't want the guy that with arms, he does all the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
100%. You want to be.
You want to be a specialist in your field.
Yeah.
Because even doctors send you to specialists when they don't have the answer.
They do, yeah.
They'll be like,
they do. Yeah, physios, all of that.
Yeah, they'll be like, we're going to send you to, do you know what I mean? So you want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You want to be the specialist in your field.
That's a bomb to drop. Love that. Yeah. Love that. Shocka. What a pleasure.
Man. That flew. How long
flew? I don't even know.
Nearly an hour.
we could still go.
We could do it again. Part 2 when the album comes out.
Bro, part 2 when the album comes out.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already followed Shocka, go and follow him on Shocka. Where can they find you?
Shocka_artist. SHOCKA_artist.
There we go.
Only on Instagram though. Twitter, I don't tweet. TikTok, I rarely post. Instagram, everything's there.
Get on there, get following, positivity. Watch out for the album coming out. Yeah. So much to come. You know, there could be a section of my life too. You know,
there is another book in the works. I've started writing it. Ooh. I'm not going to say the title. I'm not going to say anything about
Exclusive. But, there we go.
I've started writing. I'm taking my time with it.
Yes, I like that. So keep a lookout. There's a lot happening from this guy. Trust me, it's emotional. Love it.
Jeez. Make life kind, baby.
Hey. It's been Real Talks. It's been a pleasure.